Okay, so let's come to the topic drone equipment maintenance. So before I start on the drone equipment maintenance, why do you think that we need drone maintenance? What is the reason you think that we required a maintenance for it?
To keep up its operational life, serviceability.
Correct. So like have other devices like maybe a car, bike, even our equipments in our house like AC, fridge, television, whatever those parts are there or equipments are there, they regularly require some kind of a maintenance depending upon their usage and their mode of operations. Like for example, your fridge may not require very often maintenance, or your TV may not require very often a maintenance, but definitely your AC might require a maintenance, your fan might require a maintenance, your car might require a maintenance, your bike also may require maintenance. So depending on their operations and functionality, the equipments would require maintenance. The maintenance will come into the picture when there are more or less physical movements or physical parts involved. Like if you see in fridge or even in TV, you do not have much of the physical movement happening. So those devices you may not require much of the maintenance. Only normal basic cleaning and all that things regularly, you know, dust cleaning and all that kind of things would require. But if you talk about the fan, AC, the more though you use, the more maintenance is required. Similarly, your car, bike, since it is subject to the external atmospheric conditions, external things, subject to traveling, how you're traveling, how often you are driving your car or bike, and all that things will subject to your regular maintenance. So similarly, drone is also a mobility device, right? So it is also moving. It's also, there are mechanical parts are there or moving parts are there. There are some electronics are there. There are, the structure is there. So and then it is moving from one place to another place. It is flying in the air, and it is under the stress. Okay, it is under the critical stress at point in time, and then there are a lot of activities happening around the drones depending upon what purpose the drone is being used. Like for example, agriculture drone, it is always under a huge stress because it is spraying, it is flying. All that things will account to its stress on the body, stress on the components, stress on the devices, electronics, all the things will be utilized. So there will be always some kind of a wear tear around those devices. So wherever there is a physical movement, physical activity involved, those devices or those equipment will definitely require more maintenance thing part of it. So let's see now how we do the maintenance of drone. Okay, so drone equipment and maintenance. So regular usage may result in wear and tear of UAE, thus requiring regular maintenance check. The comprehensive maintenance has to be performed after 200 flights or 50 flights hour. Okay, so depending upon how much you have flown, how many flights you have taken, or how many hours you have flown the drone, depending on that, your comprehensive maintenance has to be taken. See, this number we have just, I mean, from a perspective of our experience of standards, what we see in the industry, we have written it. But again, depending upon drone to drone, you have to refer your OEM, like whatever the DJI drone says, whatever the type certified drone says, depending upon that. For example, my type certified drone says that every 100 flights, you should perform the comprehensive maintenance, or every 25 flights you have to perform, because my drone is more subjective, more stress, more wear tear and all the things, because they are all agriculture drones, and I'm regularly just taking off, taking down. So every time I do the training for the students, there is a lot of time the drone is being flown. I mean, takeoff is done, landing is done, takeoff is done, landing is done, and we are flying, because most of the my people who are flying, they are not skilled pilot, they are learning to fly. So it is subject to lot of stress. So that reason why we need to regularly do maintenance check. Okay, during the flying, pre-flight and post-flight checks per flight. Okay, so every time you bring a drone for flying, you have to perform pre-flight checks as well as post-flight checks. Okay, maintenance checklist and manuals with standard operating procedure is available from the OEMs. So you should always refer a maintenance checklist provided by the OEMs. Okay, standard operating procedures. So when we go for a practicals, I will be briefing you what all the maintenance checks you need to do, what all things you need to verify, how you have to verify. All that things will be I will explaining during the practical sessions. Okay, when we are doing practicals, we will do that practically. I will make you to do those things on yourself, so that more and more you do, you will learn those things. Okay, so first thing is the structural inspection. So first is clean the airframe of mud and dirt. Inspect the airframe for cracks. Check if there are any loose screws. Check propeller for damages. Check propeller for spinning. Check motor for debris and obstructions. Check the status of wiring and solder joints. Check gimbal, camera lens is clean. Check landing gear condition. Inspect antenna. Check control station for faulty component. So these are physically verification, structural inspection. You are checking all the components. Okay, right from your frame, propeller, motors, any loose screws, wires. Okay, wires are not obstructing. There are some connectors are there available on the tools. If they are loose, you need to make sure that they are not, coming or obstructing the movement of the propellers or spinning of the propellers. Check the gimbal camera whether the lenses are clean and good. Okay, check the landing gear condition. There are no cracks, no bend, all that thing. Inspect the antennas are been put properly. They are in proper direction, proper orientation. Check the control station also, the control station through which you are controlling your drone. Check it whether it is properly configured. I mean, it is ready and it is getting a signal from. In case you are using control station, you are getting a signal from the drone. Okay. So when you are doing the maintenance part, battery is the most important part. Inspect the battery or inspect the charger first for the visible damage. So a lot of time, initially when you bought a new drone, your charger is new, good, brand new condition, everything good. But over the period of time, 1 year or something like that, you will see the even chargers sometimes get damaged or they get worn out, or they lose the connectivity or they lose the charging capacity also. So a lot of time chargers also become worn out. So in that case, you will come to know if your batteries are not getting charged properly or the thing, then you should replace the charger. Inspect the battery pack for bulges or leakage. So when you see the battery packs, make sure that you check the battery packs properly. They don't have any bulge or any leakages and all that things. And charge all your batteries before commencing of all your activities or before the flight. Make sure that all your batteries are being charged. Don't use half charge. हाँ मैंने कल चार्ज करके रखा था या लास्ट वीक चार्ज करके रखा था. Don't use like there is a meter to check the voltage of the batteries also. So check the battery voltages as per the 100%, or you should see that your batteries are 100% charged. If not charged, you have to make sure that they are being charged, and then only you don't use anytime half charged batteries on drones. Okay, like हमको आदत रहता है like मोबाइल हम चार्ज करते हैं, चार्ज से 100% होता है, इमीडिएटली 80% होता है, वापस चार्जिंग पे लगाते हैं, 60% होता है, हम चार्जिंग पे लगाते हैं. So we don't give a proper discharging cycle to the mobile batteries. So don't do the same thing when the drone batteries. मोबाइल में क्या करते हैं हम लोग रेगुलरली, वी नेवर कि बाबा मैं एटलीस्ट 10% तक बैटरी यूटिलाइज करूँ एंड देन आई शुड गो फॉर अ चार्जिंग. आइडियली यू शुड डू दैट वे. So I always see that my mobile, I always charge it until unless I am somewhere outside or I need keep my mobile charged. So probably that point in time I will charge, or else I will carry always a power bank with me. Okay, in case my battery dies off or goes very low on my mobile. So I will always keep power bank available with me, but I will never charge my mobile always in 100%. Like if I charge one cycle today, I am charge my mobile in the morning. I will make sure that I will reach at least to 20% of it. By the end of the day, if it reaches to 20%, I may charge in the night. Okay, so that next day I can use it full, something like that. So I keep that cycle of things. I don't keep on charging my mobile every now and then. Similarly, your drone batteries, you have to charge it 100%, then use for your flight. Use it to your specification. Like our drone batteries, we are using only up to 50% because our threshold is limited to 40%. The moment we go for a 40% utilization of battery, the drone will trigger RTH or RTL. So we will not go up to 40%. We'll as we reach 50%, we will initiate the drone landing. Okay, we land the drone, change the battery, and we fly again. So that way, how we will, the battery which is been discharged or utilized, will bring it back and charge it to 100% again for next flight. Okay, that is how we will utilizing our drone batteries. Similarly, you should always make sure, see, now type certified drones doesn't required to update the firmware or the softwares. Okay, that is not what we say. DGCA doesn't allow all those things. Okay, DGCA is on whatever the firmware or whatever the software is being installed during the type certification, that same software you have to use. You should not upgrade until unless it is being instructed by the OEM. Even OEMs are not allowed until unless they have a go ahead from the DGCA or type certificate company. Okay, the QCI and the testing entities. So ideally, whatever the drones you have purchased from a type certificate OEMs, whatever the software is there during the initial days, the same software will continue to run on that drone. You should not upgrade it because that is the tested and verified software. Okay, at the point in time of certifying it. So you should not upgrade it. That is what DGCI says. But in case of any other third party OEMs like DJI drones and all that, which says that you upgrade the software, or they always put up the latest software available on their website. So accordingly, you can upgrade and you have more features, more functionality as they update their softwares on regular basis. Okay. Another last point is finishing up. Keep a track of maintenance reports. So every time you do the maintenance or all these things of the drone, keep a record of it. You should always have a habit of documentation doing. Like you may have changed the propeller, you may have changed the landing gear, you may have changed the motor, you may have changed the battery cable. Whatever changes you would have done during the maintenance, even if there is no changes, but at least you have done the maintenance and you have checked everything. You should say everything is checked and verified. So whatever that maintenance checklist is there, that you need to be keeping as a report. Like you must have seen when you take your car for servicing at the service center, so they will have a form. So they will check what was the kilometer, when was the last car brought for servicing, when is what, after what time you have brought. They will see whether when was the oil change, when was the brake oil change, all those things, parameters they will record and document in their checklist. Similarly, for our drone also, we need to check whether my all four propellers are in good shape, good condition, whether my all four motors are spinning properly, smoothly and or not, whether my condition of landing gear is proper or not, whether my frame is in good shape, condition or not, whether it is a dusty or what it is. So if it is dusty, you have to use a brush or whatever it is to clean it up. Okay, or maybe a cloth to clean the drone. Okay, or maybe a vacuum cleaner, or maybe a blower you have to use to clean the drone. Okay, so how do you do the structural inspection? Over the time, drone will gather layers of dirt from the rigors of flight, transport and storage. Even lot of time, even just by storing the drone, it will gather the dust. So whenever you see that, you should always, before your flight, you have to make sure that your drone is being cleaned properly. Okay, battery pack has to be disconnected and drone needs to be powered on. Use air dusters in combination with microfiber cloths to remove most of the dirt and buildup. Care has to be taken while dealing with the sensitive electronic components. Tools required for cleaning is like anti-static cloths, small cleaning brush, compressed air canisters are also available, or air dusters are available. You also have, when you're dealing with the electronics equipment, so you should always wear anti-static wristband, and also you should have a isopropyl alcohol in case there is a dust into the motor components. Okay, so carefully inspect the airframe for damage. You should perform these checks on a regular basis and ensure all parts are serviced accordingly, because airframe is always under the stress as it is flying in the air, it is takeoff, landing happening. So there is a bumpiness when you actually try to land the drone. Okay, small drones will not have that much problem, but the bigger drones, the heavier drones, like as I said, our drone is 24 kg of weight. So imagine 24 kg of weight is actually dropping or landing. So though we call it as a landing, but it is actually dropping. How smoothly we land the drone, that is how it will be careful. Okay, so even the smallest crack on a airframe can cause critical problems if left unnoticed. So you should never, like lot of time, even in the civil aviation, the cracks or the structural problems on the aeroplane has caused lot of air crashes. So you should never leave any, even the smallest crack unnoticed. Okay, if there is a smallest crack, you have to make a note of it and also get it rectified as fast as possible before the flight. Don't say that कि ठीक है अभी मैं fly करता हूँ, next time I will do it. You should never do that in aviation or flying sections. Okay. During routine maintenance check each component extremely carefully and make a note of a damage you find. So in case of you are doing a routine maintenance, make sure that whatever damage, every component you should check it properly. And if you find anything not proper or damaged, you should make a note of it. It is not only about making of a note, but it is your job to make sure that damage is been rectified. Okay, then only you are good to fly that particular aircraft or that particular drone. Okay, ensure every component is securely tight in place. During the maintenance or repair, it is likely that some component will need to be removed and replaced. So a lot of time we'll remove the screws and all that thing, like we are changing the frame or we are changing the landing gear or we are changing the motor or we are changing the arm also. In that scenario we normally have to dismantle the things. So a lot of time we dismantle, but we don't connect the things properly back as they are supposed to be done. So this negligence can cause or instability in the drone flying. So double check the fastings and the bolts. Don't over tighten. This can lead to excessive strains on joints and do even more damage. So a lot of time people try to tighten the things more powerfully or more aggressively, so that may cause some strain on the joints or even damage to those joints. Okay, check the propellers for damage. Dirty, chipped or cracked propellers should be removed. So propeller damage can go unnoticed until it proves critical. A lot of time, if the propellers are being chipped, the tips are being chipped and all that, people keep on flying. Okay, that is not right. Like if you see here, okay, dirty propellers, you should clean them, you should wipe them with the clean, because the dirt will impacts the Bernoulli principles. Okay, the pressure what it's supposed to create, it will have a deteriorated performance. So you should always clean the propellers. If there is a chipping, okay, or breakage, you should always remove those propellers. Remove the cracked propellers. If you see there is a tip is been broken or something, a lot of people still continue flying the drone. So that is not right. So you should always avoid flying that kind of propellers. Inspection for cracks, proper fitting of props to the motor. So a lot of time people make mistake if when they are changing the propeller, counter clockwise motor है और उसको clockwise propeller लगा देते हैं या vice versa. So you have to be careful when you are changing the propeller. See the type of propeller, check the motor, and then only you should see what is the proper motor or the proper propeller is required. Properly you should use that type only. काउंटर क्लॉकवाइज है तो काउंटर क्लॉकवाइज पॉपुलर लगाना पड़ेगा, क्लॉकवाइज है तो क्लॉकवाइज ही लगाना पड़ेगा. यू शुड नॉट चेंज इट वाइस वर्सा. चलो ये नहीं है तो वो लगा देता हूँ. इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट. ओके, जैसे नॉर्मली हम लोग कार में टायर चेंज करते हैं तो क्या करते हैं, टायर तो कॉमन है ना, देयर इज नो लेफ्ट साइड का टायर और राइट साइड का टायर और थिंग. बट इफ यू सी ओवर द पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, people say that every time you have drive somewhere around what we call 5,000 or 10,000 kilometer on tire, you should change, you should replace the tire directions, because sometimes tires get worn on the one side of the tire. So you should replace whatever the tire you have on the left side to the right side, and right side goes to the left side. So you take that to the tire guy. You just tell him that you have to replace, so he will know what to do. Accordingly he will change. So the front tire he will try to put it in a back on the diagonal, so diagonally he will replace the tires, or maybe parallelly also he will replace. So left side ka right side mein laga dega, right side ka he'll put it on the left side accordingly. So similarly propellers mein ऐसे नहीं कर सकते. Propellers में you have to see whether it is a clockwise, you have to see replace with the clockwise. If you are replacing with the counterclockwise, you have to replace counterclockwise only. Again, the orientation would be there on the motor also, to see the motor direction to check what propeller will connect to that particular motor. Okay, After you connect, after replacing, double check the type of propeller by replacing, that is clockwise propeller has to replace by clockwise propeller. Check for smooth spinning of each propeller. So you just check by just pushing by hand whether there is a smooth motion of the propellers and the motor after in changing the components. Okay, so if you change the motor or you change the propeller, make sure the motion is smooth. Check the state of wiring and solder. In case you are opening any drone, check the exposed wiring for any wear. A lot of time the soldering points जो होते हैं वो dry हो जाते हैं और निकल जाते हैं या lose हो जाते हैं. So you have to resolder them properly. To solder any loose connections, make sure you comply with the unit's manual before performing any repair. So if you are doing any major repair or replacement, if you are aware of how to do it, then you should do it. If you are not aware, you don't know how to do it, you should always ask the technician to do it or get the drone repaired by the technicians. Okay, don't try to do it on your own. This is especially in the enterprise segment. The small drone like DJI and all the thing, if you are able to repair, you can repair, or you take it to the repair center or servicing center or to the person who is capable of doing this kind of activity. Okay, check the motors for debris and obstruction. A lot of time inside the motor, since motors, these BLDC motors are open motors, okay, you will see a lot of dust going inside these motors. So over a period of time, these motors get accumulated and your motor gets start jamming, okay, or it is not giving that much speed or performance. So in that case, you have to open the motor. You may have to air pressure you have to put, or maybe you have to dip the motor into the isopropyl alcohol solution for 24 hours, so that whatever dust is there, it will become dissolved and it will come out on its own. And then you have to wipe it dry for maybe some period. You may have to put it in a silica gel packs for maybe another 6 hours or maybe even one day also. And then you have to assemble the motor back, and then you connect the motor to your drone. So that is normally done by the specialist. Okay, so remove the propeller, prop adapters to get the proper motors. Use air dusters to clean any possible dirt inside the casing. Remove the casing for further cleaning of debris by following the model specific maintenance manual. So you have to follow the model, how they model the maintenance manual will tell you how to open the motor, how to remove the casing, how to remove the armature or stator, and then how to clean it. So probably the maintenance manual will have all these kind of instructions. Okay. Structural infections also covers like unit camera clean in insect splatters or other environmental factor can cause large buildup of matter. Wipe the lens of the camera clean and remove the dirt. So a lot of time we have a cameras and all these things connected, or even the gimbal is there. So you should make sure that all before your flight, everything is proper, clean and motioning properly. I mean, movements are happening. You should check your gimbal before the flight. You should check the camera by taking a test shot or test flight, test video. Okay, test video, test photographs. You should check whether you are able to do it. Lot of time people forget to take the camera cap, okay, or a lens cap. वो फ्लाई करते हैं और फिर ऊपर जाने के बाद पता चलता है अरे आई फॉरगॉट टू रिमूव द camera cap or a thing. Or sometimes some gimbal has a locking positions also. When you are not using the gimbal, you can lock it them in a particular position. So the people forgot to unlock those kind of things, okay, or move, let the gimbal to move in a free motion. So people forget to do all these things. वो फ्लाइट लेते हैं और फिर याद आता है अरे यार मैंने गिम्बल को रिलीज ही नहीं किया या कैमरा का कैप ही नहीं निकाला. All that thing. So you have to again drown your drone. That too also you're losing that precious flight time. So avoid all those things when you are doing it. So all the things what you are supposed to do on the ground. If there is no checklist, prepare your own checklist. As a drone pilot, you should also prepare your own documentation, own procedures, own way of doing things. If you find that this is much better way and this is more comfortable, write it down yourself and follow that regularly. Okay. Check the landing gear condition. Without this module, drone would not be able to perform a safe landing. So landing gear is a very important component of a drone. Make sure the legs and the feet of the units are not bent or cracked. All rubber spring shock observers are intact. So like this, there would be a shock ops. Okay, so in part damaged or missing, they will be need to be ordered from your manufacturer and refitted. Lot of time people think landing gear kya hai, it is just a pipe, it's just an aluminum pipe or a metal pipe, I will replace with some local thing and all the things. Don't do all those things, because they have been tested and they have been certified for that particular device. So always use the OEM or manufacturer components and refit them properly as per the maintenance manuals. Okay, or else get it done from the authorized technicians or the person who is trained to do all these things. From them only you should do it. Okay, again other components like antennas, inspect them, make sure the antennas are properly connected to the UV, hold the antennas at the root while mounting, fold the antenna when not in use or transporting, replace the antenna if found unfit. Okay, if you find the drone is not able to communicate, sometimes antennas go bad or they are not able to provide the signal properly, so you may have to replace them. कभी कभी breakage हो जाता है transportation में and all the thing. If they are breakage and all the thing, you should replace with the new antenna accordingly. Same goes for the ground control station, remote controller chassis, remote controller antenna, extend range transmitter receiver if applicable, ground construction. So whatever components you require to be clean, you should clean them. Okay, so structural inspections also you should do it properly. Battery inspection, we talk about, check the docking station charger for each battery pack, like this I talk about. Similarly, you have a battery pack for DJI drones also. Nowadays even the small drones from DJI comes with a 3 battery set with a pack. Okay, so these components often go for years without being properly serviced, but over the period of time, surprisingly common cause battery related issues will happen, like battery is not charging because those connectors on the battery packs, you will say they get oxidized because they are subject to the external atmospheric conditions or subject to the climatic conditions. So वो oxidize हो जाते हैं या so they capture carbon or thing, or they become black and all things. So you should clean them using isopropyl alcohol and all the things, because then they should make a good contact with the battery so that they are able to charge the battery properly and within given time. Okay, lot of time these are connections are not happening properly, so your battery is not getting fully charged or not getting charged in stipulated time. Okay, जो 1 घंटे में चार्ज होता था कभी कभी 2 घंटा लग रहा है. So if something is happening, either your battery is wrong or your charger is having some problem. Okay, so as well as visual check, you should ensure the voltage specified the dock is compliant with that of the battery pack. So you have lot of indicators on the battery pack, green, yellow, blue, or multiple LED lights are there. So accordingly, whatever is the specification, you should see that your charger as well as your battery is been giving you right visual indications. If you find you are not getting the proper visual indications, either battery is wrong or the charger is wrong. Okay, so like other day we were charging lithium lipo batteries. Okay, small lithium batteries. It is 18650 series की छोटी battery आती है. Okay, so we were charging on a charger. So वो charger पे it was showing red. Okay, when we connect the charger, it was showing red and it was not going off only. So in fact, we were not sure whether what is happening, whether and when I'm trying to use that battery, even I put it for 1 hour, 2 hour, that red is not getting changed. Ideally, when the battery is completely charged, that red should become green. Now here I was not sure whether my battery is fault or charger is fault. So what I did is I took that battery and connected to another charger. When I connected to other charger, it was showing red, but after 1 hour, my charger started showing green. That means now my battery was charged. So I used that battery, it was functioning properly. Okay, now again what I did, I tried using the same charger for different batteries. So that's how you can eliminate whether you have a problem with the battery or whether you have a problem with the charger. So later on we found that that charger was faulty because that fault charger was actually not able to detect or not able to charge the battery itself. Okay, that's why it was showing continuously red color. Even after 1 hour, 2 hours of charging, it was not able to charge. Actually, it was not charging my battery. There was some fault into the electronics of it or something like that. So we discarded that charger and we replaced it with the new charger. Okay, so sometimes you have to do this combination of trying to identify what component would have gone faulty. Okay, even for batteries also, bulge deformities are a sign of leakage. affect the pack must be replaced immediately. Active pack along with the spare should be checked and replaced if necessary. Inspect the drone batteries, components of batteries, like even not only the drone batteries, but even your RC, the remote control, or even your control station. Okay, this control station, ground control station, they also have a battery pack inside. So if you find over the period of time it is not giving you appropriate time of the flight of the system, you should replace your batteries also in those also components. So replace the damaged batteries if necessary. Cell voltage must not have difference more than zero point 0.2 voltage. So a lot of time you have a set of batteries, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A lot of time nowadays DJI is compulsory giving 3 battery set. So don't randomly use the batteries. You should always number the batteries, 1, 2, 3, or A, B, C, D, whatever you are comfortable. Okay. So when you use one battery should go back into the pack. You should use second battery. When you completely utilize second battery, the third battery should go. Third battery when it goes is completely drained, you should go back to the pack. You should, by the time you should have a first battery charged, you should put first battery. So that cycle you should follow. You cannot randomly like अभी दो use किया फिर तीन use किया फिर एक use किया फिर दो use किया तीन किया, something like randomization of usage of battery. So you will not have a track, you will not have a cycle properly. So sometimes by mistake then couple of batteries are utilized more and some batteries are not utilized. So you should, if you have a set of battery packs, you should always follow them in a cycle. You should follow them in sequence. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. अगर 5 battery है, 7 battery है, 10 battery है, so accordingly you should follow the cycle. So till you complete your one cycle of all set of batteries, you should not go back to the first battery. Okay, that is what is followed when you are using multiple batteries. Okay, we talked about the update of drone firmware and the software. In case of type certified, we are not upgrading softwares or firmware. If it is for other drones, not which are non-type certified, there you can follow the OEM instructions accordingly. Okay, same goes for your GCS also. Okay, so what is the schedule for servicing? Okay, airframe, propeller, motor, gimbal, landing gear, or camera. So airframe is a major components. Okay, so normally you should see that if there is a damage, you should replace the airframe. Okay, if there is a major issue, major cracks, major damages on the airframe, you should immediately replace the frame, because that is the most important component. That is the mechanism or the frame which holds all the components together. So you should not compromise in case of any damage to the airframe. Okay, so remove the drone battery, remove all propeller, detach non-fixed component from frame, all screws from the frame, check the underside of the frame for additional component, detach non-solder wires, transfer the component from old frame to new, routes the wires through the new frame. To reassemble with the new frame, you should always follow the sub-task checklist in a reverse direction. Be sure to refer to your manual for proper wiring guidance and advice on how to route the cable inside the shell. Okay, so depending upon different drones have different way of assembling or setting up. So if you are aware of how to do it, you should do it. If you are not aware, you should always take help of a manual or the technician. Okay, so propeller, again you should make sure that power of the drone unit, disconnect the battery, be sure all motors are run down completely, remove the propellers. Propeller orientation is important. Observe which way up the old propeller was positioned by before removing them, so you can be sure the new component is installed correctly. Often this information will be marked on the propeller. So a lot of time I will show you during the practical, on the propeller it is written CW, CCW, or physically looking at the propeller also you can understand whether it is a CW or CCW type of propeller. So remove the damaged propeller, observe the propeller orientation, retrieve the matching replacement, and install the new propeller. Once you install the new propeller, just give a gentle push to the propeller to see that it is connected properly and spinning freely along with the motor. Okay, again same goes for the motor. In case you have to replace the motor, you have to remove the propeller, then replace the right motor. अगर clockwise है तो clockwise, counter clockwise है तो counter clockwise motor आपको लगानी पड़ेगी, and then accordingly you have to change and replace back the components. Okay, so disassemble the frame, disconnect the component wire, identify the faulty motors, make note of which direction each motor is spinning, install the new motor. Okay, gimbal also. A lot of time gimbals also get wear and tear and all that things. So if your gimbal has gone faulty or needs change, or maybe even servicing, okay, because this also has a motors inside. There are two axis motors. Okay, so one for pan motion, one for tilt motion. So if you're there are something like that, even in the arm, okay, where the camera is fitted, there is also sometimes motor. So there is sometimes called, we call it as three-axis gimbal. Okay, if there is a three-axis gimbal or two-axis gimbal is there. So based on that, you have to do the servicing. Sometimes you have to put isopropyl alcohol inside the motor, or some oil is also there required, which is put into the motor, especially not into electronic components, but into the what we call bearings. There are bearings inside, small miniature bearings are there. So OEM will specify how you to do take care of your motors and the bearings attached to it. Okay, so lot of times when you connect the new gimbal, you forget to configure it. After the service, assemble the system and check for stabilization, pan and tilt movements, and video output. So this is what you need to do before the flight. Okay. Every time you change the gimbal, you replace the things on the gimbal side or the payload side. Make sure on the ground itself you are validating or checking it properly before the flight is taken. Okay, landing gear we talked about. First, take the proper precaution by fully powering down the drone. Power of the drone unit. Disconnect the battery. Be sure all motors are run down completely. Remove the propeller. Turn the drone upside down. Place the drone on firm, flat surface. Remove the screws. Secure the landing gear to the drone surface. Remove the rubber supports. Carefully detach wiring. Sometimes wirings are also uh, tied up to the landing gear, and also if there is something like that, you should detach and reattach properly. Transfer the components from old frame or old what we say landing gear. Align the new landing gear. Screw new landing gear in place. So you need to have balancing. Okay, you cannot have a drone which is not been properly balanced. So you should always have a level horizon on the drone. Okay, so you should have a leveling device also when you are changing the landing gear or changing the frame also. Even motor, when you are replacing, you have to check the leveling of the motor when it is attached to the arm. Okay, so make sure you check all these things during the replacement part or maintenance part. Okay, servicing the camera, we talked about the camera. If there is any servicing required, lens needs to be cleaned, or your camera is been replaced or changed, so you need to do the things properly. Okay, gimbal, agar apne new camera you are putting on a gimbal, so you check the motion, check the footages, check the videos and the photographs and the angle at what it is tilting and capturing the pictures. So you do that dummy checks on ground itself, rather taking a flight and then landing again. You have to make a landing to correct the things. So calibrate the gimbal for yaw and roll in app. So if you are using any app for managing your gimbal, so you have to calibrate properly. Okay, precisely you should do the fine tuning of your gimbal operations. Sometimes on a bigger drone like DJI Inspire, you have two remotes. One remote is only for managing the drone or flying the drone. There is a secondary drone which is having the gimbal controls. Okay, so basically those both controllers has to be, so there will be two people who are actually flying the drone or doing the activity using the same drone. So one will be the pilot who will be operating the drone. The second person would be actually operating the gimbal. So this is basically done during the photography or cinematography, or you're capturing the videos. Okay, in that scenario, the two people will be actually operating the drone. So one is from the operation perspective, one is from the footage perspective or from the application perspective. Okay, so with that we cover up the drone equipment and maintenance topic on it. So if you have any questions on the maintenance part or servicing part and all that things, so always remember, every 200 flights or 50 hours, you should always do a comprehensive maintenance. Okay, 200 flights and 50 flight hours, whatever it is. Like normally आप कार खरीदते हो तो आपको बोलते हैं ना कि first 100 kilometers आप drive किया या 1 month हो गया, तो you should bring your car for first servicing, like that, or 1,000 kilometers and 1 month is over. Whatever is first, if you come to 1,000 kilometers, even in 15 days you have driven, 1,000 kilometers you should take for service. If you have not taken 1,000 kilometers, but if you complete 1 month, you should bring your car for servicing. So similarly, whatever it is, whether you have performed 200 flights or you have 50 flight hours, whatever comes first, you should accordingly do the comprehensive maintenance of your drone. Also, make sure that you are following the standard checklist and standard operating procedures. And most importantly, whenever you are doing any comprehensive test or regular maintenance check, you should always document in a form of a manual, on form of a checklist. Okay. Also, every time you are doing a flight, okay, so before the flight, it is the job of a pilot and a co-pilot to do the pre-check or pre-flight and post-flight checks. Okay, per flight, it is mandatory. It is saying per flight. Okay, you should not ignore. So every time I am flying from Mumbai to Jaipur, though I am doing it every day, okay, my flight from Mumbai to Jaipur is just 1 hour, 1.5 hour. So I will start in the morning, 8 o'clock my flight is there. I will take the flight. Before taking the flight, I will make sure I will check what is engineer has done the inspection. I will check his reports, and then as a pilot I will also monitor the entire aeroplane. Then I will fly my aeroplane from Mumbai to Jaipur. I will land at 9:30, 10 o'clock at Jaipur airport. After the landing, again I will check how is the my aeroplane, and then I will log off from my activity. Again, I have a flight, same aeroplane I need to take back to Mumbai. I have a scheduled flight at 12 noon, for example, or 11:30. I have after 1 hour or something like that. So again, I will take the command of my aeroplane. I will go. I will check what engineer has done the inspection. I will check his inspections, his reports, and then I will do my own inspections and my own checking also. And then I will go into the cockpit, and then I will fly my drone. Again, I come to Mumbai. Again, I will, before logging off from the system, I will make sure that I am checking my aeroplane status. Okay, so that is your pre-flight and post-flight check per flight. Okay, so every time you should do it 100 times. If you are flying the same aeroplane in a day for 3 times, 4 times, every time you do landing, every time you do takeoff, before and after, you should always do the pre-flight checks or flight checks. You should do. Clear? Structural inspection is the most important part. Battery checks, software firmware upgrade if required. Keep a track of a maintenance report. Okay, in case you are changing any component, keep a track of it. Like when you change propeller, which propeller you change, first propeller, second propeller, third propeller, or motor change, landing gear change here. Even you have replaced the battery packs. If you have discarded certain battery packs, so you should keep a track of it, that this number of battery pack I have replaced on, so because the reason it was leakage or bulge and been replaced. Like दो number की battery मेरी change हो गई, so you are putting a new battery over there. So your first battery is from the old lot, and you are utilizing, you may be at a 50 cycle. Okay, your third battery also is from the old light, that is also on 50 cycle. But your 2 number battery has gone bad or faulty, and you are required to replace it. You are replacing it with the new. So your new battery cycle will start from number 1. Okay, it is not at the 50th cycle. You have to maintain the cycle of each battery also. The moment you put in for charging, you have to make a note of it. The moment you bring it charged and you have utilized, you should keep a track of all this. Which battery was charged when, how much time did it take for a charging, when it was used, how much time it was used, when it got discharged. All that records you need to maintain. The more you properly maintain the records, you will be more efficiently using your battery for a better performance and better life cycle. Okay. So any questions so far? Yeah, Parag.
When we do these checks, and I guess we'll have to maintain some kind of record, as you say,
Hmm.
okay, over a period of time. Uh, are these subject to checks by DGCI, or it is for our own record?
No, no. So in case, like you are as a pilot, okay, if you are working for some organization, their organization might be having some quality checks and all the things. for us, as we are operating an RPTO, we have to maintain all these documents and records. So DGCA will every 6 months or in once in a year, they will come and check whether we are following the right procedures or not, whether we are taking a record of a battery charging cycle and all that things, utilization cycle, drone flying cycles. There are different logs which as a RPTO we need to maintain. So we'll maintain into some paper, and then we'll fare it into the actual logbooks also. So a lot of time we do it, because when we are operating or doing trainings, we are doing a lot of flying continuously. Like you're flying, taking down, flying up and down continuously, you are doing it. So it's very difficult to maintain on fly the record. So we'll normally try to maintain in a rough way. Okay, and then probably end of the day I will put it into the right way into the my logbooks. Okay, that
No,
is.
so these the question was these logbooks, like for you, you have to maintain for obvious reasons. But me as an individual
So
pilot,
as an individual, you if you are owning your own drone, it is a good practice to maintain it. It's
okay,
all up to you. Like you are flying, you are an aerial photographer. Suppose for fun you are doing it still. Okay, so you should always label your battery packs. You should utilize. You should say when you charge your batteries, when it got completely charged, when you utilize battery number one, when did you utilize your battery number two. So you might maintain your flight log along with the batteries utilization also. You can do that. Okay, so it's all up to you. If you are working for some organization, automatically that will become a mandatory for you. But if you are doing something for your own, it's all up to you whether you want to follow the best practices or not. And eventually it will be good for you from a long term perspective.
got it.
Okay, so we over complete the drone equipment maintenance module. What is the next topic? Is drone emergency handling, right?
It's risk assessment.
That is emergency handling, risk assessment. Same. So that actually that name is very lengthy, so I always call it as emergency handling because it talks more about the emergencies. Okay. So when you are flying a drone, okay, hold on.